Travel and Things in association with Sun Destinations, iconic destinations with amazing experiences, present In Conversation With. I am your host, David Batzofin, and my guest today is my elf on a bookshelf. His Christmas duties over. Elfie with no name joins me in going through some of the books that crossed my desk in 2023. And for one reason or another, I was able or unable to do author interviews. And let's start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start. These books are in no particular order. They're just standing next to me on my desk. So what have we here? Trees of Zambia. It's a pocket guide. It's published by Strake and is written by Adam Pope and Claire Barkworth. Interesting name, that, Barkworth. It's written about trees. Pocket guide. If you go into Zambia, pop it in your pocket, pop it in your backpack, and you'll be amazed at what you will see and find. If you go into Zambia and Malawi, then maybe this is the book for you. Snakes and Other Reptiles of Zambia and Malawi, again published by Strake and written this time by Darren Peterson and Luc Verburgt. A great book. People, for some reason, are terrified of snakes, but not all of them have venom that is harmful to human beings. And to just generalize and smack a snake on the head with a spade because it's a snake, people are learning that that's not the way to do it. Call in a reputable snake handler or remove the snake yourself very carefully and very gently. So if you're going to Zambia or Malawi, pop this in your pocket together with the tree guide. Staying with creepies that we don't like for one reason or another, Field Guide to Spiders of South Africa. This little jumping spider is just so cute. Ansi Dippenaar Skuman is the author, and the book, again, published by Strake. Spiders have an interesting history with people, and I'm uncertain why. I think it is as children we are told the spiders are bad, they're going to bite you. I have been bitten by a sack spider before, and I know what that ends up like. The venom from that is definitely medically warranted, or medical intervention is warranted. But there are many, many spiders that appear in our homes or in tents when we're out in the bush who have no medical value whatsoever. You don't really need to worry about their venoms. And remember, like snakes, spiders are not poisonous. They're only poisonous if you eat them. It's venom that you're looking for. All right, so this cute little fella, look out for them. Taking photographs of spiders is an absolute joy. It really is. Some of them a little less joyous, but a great book, and one that not necessarily for your pocket, but for your home library is an absolute must. From spiders to another huge book, and another book published by Strake. This is Southern African Moths and Their Caterpillars. And this is written by Herman Stroud, Mike Picker, and Charles Griffith. It is a big book, people. It really and truly is. But again, we all in our homes wonder what a particular moth is, or if we see caterpillars, we wonder if the caterpillar has any value, and if so, what? Should we kill it? Should we just allow it to exist in our gardens? And the answer in most, if not all of the cases, is yes, we should. Why shouldn't we live in harmony with our surroundings? Moths, again, a very interesting group of species, and the caterpillars are singularly some of the most beautiful that you can find. Another Strake book, and another book for your library, not necessarily one that you're going to take into the field with you, but what I suggest you do, if you're going to be spending some time at a lodge or out in the bush, take it with, leave it in camp, and when you return from your various outings or game drives, you've got pictures with you, then you can do comparisons. There's nothing like the Google camera to steer you in the right direction. You can take a photograph of your photograph, and at the end of the day, you can refer back to this particular tome. Moving swiftly along, but staying with Strake, he says, Fynbos flora. Flora, he says, looking at the book again. No, Field Guide to Fynbos fauna. And I know why I said flora, because when I mentioned this particular book to my wife, she got all excited because she said, oh, fynbos flora, something that I want to learn more about. And then I handed her the book and she said, this has nothing to do with flora. The book is done by Cliff and Suretha Dawes. Again, it takes a look at anything and everything that you might find. Remember, people, going out into the bush is not about finding large animals with teeth and claws. No, there are all sorts of smaller things that will bring you much joy and interest. Have a look at these birds, for instance. What is that? I was about to say it's a stone chat, but it's not. That we all know what that is. Oh, yes, indeed. An ostrich. All right, so another book published by Strake, it's fynbos Flora, and written by Cliff and Suretha Dawes. One of my favorite authors, really. This man puts so much work into his books. I don't know how he does it, and I've been waiting to interview him. In 2023, he decided for his 50th birthday to take his partner in crime and his now fiance and go off to Madagascar. So I didn't get a chance to chat to Lee Guttridge about droppings, dungs, and scat of Southern African wildlife. Again, this one's published by, and well, I should say not again, this one is the fourth one in a series that Lee's done, and they're published by Jacana. Now, I could use all the terminology, you know, it's a crap book. It's full of shit, and it really is. But I won't. Lee, when he goes into stuff, if I've walked with Lee in the bush, and he is the most amazing man. Bushwalks with Lee may last for hours and hours and hours. And then you realize you've covered 500 meters because there is just so much stuff that he can, and knowledge that he can impart. The book is beautifully put together, give you, as you can see there, African wildcat, and it'll tell you about its scat. Lee and Kersey are busy working on a book on feathers, but I think that's going to take them an enormous amount of time to put together feathers of Southern African birds. But this one goes together with the other three in the series, all published by Jacana, Tracks and Signs. It's just tracks and signs of birds, tracks and signs of invertebrates. I learned a lot from that particular book about millipede tracks and tracks and signs of mammals. And then the new ones, droppings, dungs, and scats of Southern African wildlife. Another book that's just crossed my desk, in fact, it arrived just a day or so ago, is this, Sandra Swart, a lion's historian, African Animals Past. And let me read to you from the back of the cover, because that's about all I can do. Because I tried to get hold of the professor, and unfortunately, she's not available currently, maybe early in the new year. The animals in this landmark book, elephants, hippos, okapi, would you believe, lions, jackals, cows, sheep, horses, white ants, quagga, police dogs, and baboons are chosen strategically to highlight different facets of our shared past. With this animal-centric lens, decades of research are brought together in this astonishing book, one that takes animals seriously. The possibility of our shared future pivots on a reckoning with our shared pasts. This pioneering work shows what human animal history can do, not only to help us better understand our place in the world, but to make our world, however slightly, a better place. And as I say, I've skimmed through the book. I have to be honest. And it got me to get hold of Sandra and to say, please, will you do an author interview? Because it's really and truly looks like one of the most interesting books to come across my desk in 2023. Another fellow that everybody might know, he was the editor, and in fact, he might still be the editor of, no, he isn't, he was the editor of Getaway, and this is Justin Fox. The book is called Place, South African Literary Journeys, and as the back of the book says, let us then set off together on a series of journeys around South Africa with an old kit bag full of books instead of maps to guide us. And that's exactly what Justin's travelogue is doing. It's a wonderful tale. It's beautifully told. And if you're thinking of sort of wandering the back roads of South Africa, forget the N roads, use the R's, and find yourself places and people that make and populate our wonderful, wonderful country. Moving away from animal books or books about animals, let's have a look at Soul Mandate. This is the extraordinary life of property maverick Lou Geffen. The book is published by Melinda Ferguson Books. Melinda really goes out on a limb. Love him or hate him, the man is extremely well known in the property market. And this book, if you've ever bought a property from Lou Geffen, if you've ever thought of buying a property, then this book should be one that you take away with you on holiday. And then lastly, but by no means least, Tony Park is back. Vendetta. And yes, there is a helicopter in this one. Scores will be settled. A price will be paid. It's a thrilling new adventure from Tony Park. And it's published by, he says, having to look inside, Pan Macmillan. So there you go. That's just some of the books that Elvie and I have been looking at. I do hope that you have a wonderful reading new year, and that at the end of the day, you can find something, anything that will get your heart pumping, your mind racing, and letting books take you to a place where you can just enjoy everything that they produce. Have yourselves a wonderful 2024, and Travel and Things will be back in the new year with more interesting interviews, both author and people of note. And I hope to be entertaining, educational, and informative in 2024. Have yourselves a wonderful break. Be careful, be safe, and be back with me in the new year.